Welcome to the Vault XL Smackdown Saturday. Tupac Shakur, his father believes that the government set him up in his vicious murder that took place 1996, Las Vegas. Bill Cosby, the women who have made allegations against the mega star have the right to sue for civil damages. R. Kelly, one of his victims, believes his medical records should be public knowledge. Do you believe they should be public knowledge? Brian Kohberger, more shenanigans pertaining to the upcoming trial. Lori Vallow denied a new trial. Caitlyn Armstrong will be facing murder charges June 26. This is an all-around update pertaining to breaking news around the world. Prayers for Deion Sanders. It has come to light that our great pro football player who coaches college ball now may have to have his foot amputated. I'm going to play you that said information. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $Beganji129, Cash App, all stickers and chats are welcome during the live stream. Thank you, ladies, for joining me. Let's start with Smackdown Saturday. Thank you so much. Nine NBC News is the source.
A lot about Coach Prime, but Deion Sanders, while he continues to offer plenty of behind-the-scenes looks at his first year coaching at CU, this latest clip he let out has nothing to do with football.
It's a meeting with his doctors about his foot. Sanders had 2 toes amputated in 2021 due to blood clots, and he continues to have problems with blood flow.
You just have to understand what the risks are, and so things can cascade. That's what.
Well, I know what the risks are. I don't have 8 toes, so I'm pretty sure I understand. It is what it is. I'm playing right. My life is all it is what it is.
To correct that, you should take off what you're shooting. You're on the other foot, and if that doesn't go,
So you're saying, like, he could lose that toe too?
He could lose the foot.
Wow.
So that is a sobering look at the potentialities for what might lie ahead for Coach Prime. Obviously in the middle of a big life change, but he's got to take care of his health first.
Right. And, he missed some games, right? Or was he on a cart during last season? For a while. Maybe he didn't miss games, but he was on crutches, and it was significant losing those toes.
Yeah, this will also be a story to follow, with so much to follow about Coach Prime this year, heading towards football season, but certainly his health paramount, to say the least.
Yeah, he often talks about it. Sometimes he jokes about it, but he brings it up quite a bit. Yeah. If you follow him,
tell he's in pain.
At
the end of the day,
you notice the way he walks and everything. So we'll follow up.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me.
Talking about
this is just
do you have any?
Terrible news. I can't get my devices situated here. 2 toes gone already. Possibility of losing a foot. Poor circulation. One would wonder if he has issues with diabetes, because a lot of people who are diabetic, they're diabetics, they usually have problem with their feet. So I'm wondering if he is a diabetic. That was not mentioned in this commentary. But prayers to Deion Sanders. I'm praying that he can get this situation cured to where he doesn't have to lose a foot, because losing toes is not good. That's not good at all. As you heard him say in the beginning of this commentary, 8 toes. So 2 are already gone. So let's pray he does not have to lose a foot, because then some of us will start to worry if toes today, foot tomorrow, then a leg. And I pray it doesn't go to the foot nor a leg. Prayers for Deion Sanders. Thank you so much for joining me. News 9 is the source. I'm going to bring you my next breaking news. This is all around live stream pertaining to breaking news here in the United States. Caitlyn Armstrong, my next topic.
accomplice in East Austin last May will go to trial in June. This morning, we learned Caitlyn Armstrong's trial is set for June 26th. Investigators say she killed Mariah Wilson back in May and then fled the country. Police arrested her in Costa Rica after a 43-day-long manhunt. Armstrong faces up to 99 years in prison if convicted.
Texas, the worst place to commit a crime, especially murder. Kaitlin, you should know that. Went on the run, changed her identity, had a nose job, dyed her hair, cut her hair. But that's the thing about running, is that there's always somebody that watches the news, social media, and old habits die hard. Usually whatever you were doing in one place, you would possibly do it the next. That is how she was apprehended. Doing the same type of athletic activities. You still look the same. Whether your hair was short and colored, somebody recognized you. Love triangle. Was this man lying to she and the other woman? Because men do lie. They say one thing to this one, they say something to the other one. Both holding on for dear life. Can't let go, can't leave them alone. And then somebody finds out about the other one and decides, well, I see he's going to continue lying to me. He's taking up with this other pretty young lady. I'm feeling some type of way. And I believe that's what happened with Kaitlin. She continued to ride the ride with a dirty bird and got caught up. But all she had to do was walk away once she found out he was still dating, seeing whatever, the other lady. Some will say that the other woman wasn't seeing him. In the end, it doesn't matter because you don't know what's going on in someone's pocket and you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. And what may have seemed like a date could have been just two people meeting to talk. But if you're liking someone, dating them, living with them, that is not going to look good seeing them with another woman. So Kaitlin decided to take matters into her own hands illegally by following this woman to her house and killing her in cold blood in her house. And I often wondered how did she even get in to kill the lady? Did the lady let her in, or did she break her way into her home? June 26th is the trial for Caitlyn Armstrong in the murder of Anna Mariah Wilson. May 11, 2022, at roughly 8:37 p.m., Kaitlin allegedly shot Mariah at the house where Mariah was staying. After fleeing the country for Costa Rica, Kaitlin racked up over $6,000 in cosmetic surgery bills to change her face and make her appearance unidentifiable. However, she was spotted in Costa Rica after attending a series of yoga classes that ultimately blew her cover. Stay tuned for today's true crime recap, where they'll be unpicking everything we know about this developing case. And once again, if you need verification for that information, I got this from a True Crime Recaps channel. Thank you all so much for joining me. Caitlyn Armstrong, Deion Sanders. We also have crazy nonsense with the Petitos. I didn't bring you this update, but Law and Crime is the source. Everyone has probably heard about the letter that Miss Laundrie wrote to her son, and it is on my community board. It's about a 7-minute long video. But it's disturbing to even know that a person would even write a letter to their own child about anything nefarious in nature, disposing of bodies, talking about killing someone, getting rid of someone. That would lead one to believe that the mother knew all along what had happened to the young lady, Miss Gabby, because that's not the type of conversation you would have with your child innocently. And if you're telling someone to burn something, that usually means there's something incriminating inside of the letter. Brian Kohberger. News Nation is the source. Mr. Kohberger requests an indictment. Pause. Now, one's going to say, what's the problem now? Don't you want to go to court and get this over with? As they say, usually it's the victims' families that want a speedy trial, get it over with, done. But they don't have jurisdiction to demand the speedy trial of a suspect, perpetrator. It is up to the perpetrator and his lawyers, her lawyers, to decide the foregoing of a trial. And usually these minions, demons, they like to play mind games. Because 9 times out of 10, they are guilty. And that's why they play these games. It's just keep on. And as you will hear, prosecutors have a time trying to try it. The longer it goes, because witnesses forget things. don't tell the version they told originally in the report to law enforcement. They decide they don't want to testify. Somebody comes forward to tell that there's somebody lying, not telling the truth about things, and now you have a bunch of shenanigans. News Nation is the source. Thank you for joining me.
On her chest that she'd like to get off, namely the whole grand jury indictment. She's holding a hearing saying it's got to go. We want more time to look through all the stuff that the grand jury had, did, said, all that secret stuff, because we think it maybe didn't go according to law or plan, or there was something hinky in there, which means we want to toss it out. We want that grand jury indictment tossed out. Grand juries are secret, and they really are a prosecutorial process. They're not a defense process. So this is interesting. I like the way she thinks. This is what she says. She says, Kohberger is exercising due diligence to discover the grounds upon which to file a motion to dismiss related to how the grand jury was selected. While the matter of the grand jury record is argued and prepared, she wants more time to go through with a fine-tooth comb. Here's something else that was interesting. She said the grand jury was impaneled at a time when the small community of Moscow, Idaho, had been exposed to 6 months of intense local, national, and international media coverage. Because the state has provided extensive discovery, Mr. Kohberger knows that exculpatory evidence exists. That's interesting. Whether a fair and impartial panel of grand jurors was assembled amidst intense media coverage is a significant question the defense must evaluate. Well, that is interesting. So that's why I get the interesting guest. Mark Geragos, trial attorney, co-host of the podcast Reasonable Doubt with Adam Carolla. Let's start with the money. Mark Geragos, $135,000 for a quadruple murder case. How much more is it going to go up from that? They can't possibly stick to that budget, can they?
It's going to go up quite a bit. And by the way, that's probably why people are fleeing California to go to Idaho, because the cost of living or prosecuting is much cheaper there. I'll tell you, the defense cost alone in a capital case in a place like California or New York is a multiple or exponentially more than that.
Yeah, the prosecutor, Bill Thompson, said it's hard to project exactly what's going to be involved. We know that it's not going to be cheap. That is the understatement of the century. All right, let me ask you about this whole challenge to the grand jury process and maybe the indictment itself. I love it. It's like spaghetti. Just toss it and see what happens. But how often does this trick work?
Well, it's not so much a trick, I think. And I looked at what she wrote, and I think what she's doing is setting up a situation. When you have a grand jury, in most jurisdictions, and both in federal and state court, you have to give the defense the opportunity to present exculpatory evidence, if you will, once you know the grand jury is happening. And that can be what you just kind of recounted, was whether or not the grand jury was selected impartially. So that's a different challenge. The challenge to exculpatory evidence is, I believe what the argument, or laying the groundwork for the argument is, hey, we know that there's exculpatory evidence. We didn't get a chance to present that. That is our right, even though it's a secret proceeding. We do have the opportunity, just like in New York, where you and I talked about in the Penny case, where he could or didn't, or we don't even know actually whether he testified in front of the grand jury, because that's his right. When Trump was given the right, he sent one of his lawyers in New York State court. Here, they could have presented a whole package to the grand jury. I will tell you, going back 20 years, when Michael Jackson, when I was notified that Michael was going to be indicted, I presented and brought, along with Ben Brofman, binders worth of exculpatory information to give to that grand jury so that they would know that before they indicted Michael in that case. So she's laying the groundwork for a motion to dismiss, and what she's asking for, pause this thing. We want a timeout, basically, so we can assemble the information that we would have presented to the grand jury.
I got 30 seconds left, but since you brought up Michael Jackson and you were, his attorney, this complaint about media saturation, that you can't possibly get a fair grand jury, you can't possibly get a fair trial, all this stuff. I look at OJ, acquitted. Casey Anthony, acquitted. Beretta, Robert Blake, acquitted. And of course, your guy, Michael Jackson, in one of his trials, acquitted. So I'm getting a little tired of hearing that you can't get a fair process just when there's lots of media attention. What do you think?
Well, in at least 3 of the cases you just mentioned, you know what the common theme was?
Fame.
Those jurors were sequestered.
Ah, okay.
Casey Anthony sequestered. O.J. Simpson sequestered. When they're not sequestered, that's when you can't protect them from everything that's out there in the ether.
Thank you for watching. Go to News Nation now.
News Nation is the source. So we have a crybaby moaning and groaning with his attorneys about grand jury selection, and they didn't have an option to participate in the proceedings and blah, 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 and what the public will know about the case and not know. Frankly, they're not going to know anything until actually they go to trial and see what evidence the state has and what the defense has. Witnesses, statements, data, so on and so forth, surveillance. And as you hear, these other people that got away with their crimes, where people believe that they were guilty, some people, the jury was sequestered, but that still has nothing to do with what you hear beforehand. You don't have any control over what you're going to hear about a case. You're entitled to believe what you want to believe. People will believe what they want to believe. They asked them those questions in the beginning. Have you heard of Kohberger? Have you heard of Casey Anthony? You either say yes or you say no. Okay? And it's best to go ahead and tell the truth. If you heard something, heard of the case, knew of something, discussed it with somebody, can you remain unbiased, blah, blah, blah. Everything's a version. Crying about it is going to do what exactly? You can't stop people from talking. You can't stop people from gossiping. You can't stop people from lying. You cannot stop the media from portraying a story. Whether you believe they are being biased, unbiased, it is what it is. The point is you're accused of killing somebody. So you're so damn concerned about what the fuck people are thinking about out here in the public against you, then you shouldn't have killed those kids. How about that? All this crazy nonsense, standing down in trial, not wanting to talk. Oh, I don't want to say anything. You're making yourself look guilty. All this BS your parents were pushing back in December. Oh, we're going to wait till the trial and the case comes out and the information. What fool would go before a judge and say nothing when they know they didn't kill somebody? I'll wait. I know I didn't kill those kids. I'm jumping up and down up in that courtroom. I did not kill them. I don't know them. I am innocent. Let's get this started. I want my life back. Boom, in the story. Now it's, the grand jury, they didn't do this right. So now it's the grand jury. It's the media. It's Pookie. It's Ray Ray. It's the butcher. It's the baker. Candlestick maker. No, honey, it's you. You're the reason we're talking about you, Mr. Kohberger. Your lawyer's getting all this damn money to try you in court. She's getting rich off of defending you. That's really why she probably won it in the first place, because she knew the stipend she would get. We didn't know that because we don't really dig into all of that when it comes to court trials and learning who gets what, who gets paid what, and how much it costs to try a case. So now we know it's expensive to try these type of cases, death penalty cases. We now know that the public defender gets a nice little lump sum of money in their pocketbook. Hell yeah, she didn't care about one of the victims' mother being one of her clients. Hell yeah, she dropped her like a hot potato. I need that money. Ann Taylor don't care nothing about Kohberger. Honey, she's thinking about her bank account, how many zeros is going in that. You know, how many pretty suits she can purchase to go stand in court and lie and manipulate the information. Yeah, I see it there. It is what it is. People talk. It is up to the 12 members of the jury to decide the information while in court. That's what counts. You can't stop people from talking. You cannot stop the media from bringing forward the information. It is what it is. And as I said, an innocent person would break his or her neck in court to say, I am innocent, Your Honor. Not stand there mum, don't say nothing. And then the court puts in the plea for him, which is not guilty. Have you heard of such? Have you heard of such? So we've gone from not saying anything in the court putting in the not guilty plea on behalf of Kohberger to now, I ain't got a problem with the grand jury selection. So next time you go to court, it's going to be what? In October. You don't like the bailiff. He too tall. He too short. He too fat. Oh, I don't like the judge. I don't like the way the judge looks. Somebody's making googly eyes in the courtroom. What's going to be next? I don't have time for this nonsense. It's ridiculous. But this is what they do. Defense attorneys, public defenders, and their clients, they play mind games. Kohberger, Miss Taylor, ain't nobody throwing out nothing. That man slaughtered 4 kids. God knows what else he's done. Who else he stalked. Bruh ain't coming out of there. Bruh gonna stay in there. Bruh gonna die in there. And you gonna get you a nice little lump sum of money for trying him. End of story. And praying 12 members of the jury find him guilty. Praying the death penalty stays on the table. Praying they vote for the death penalty. End of story. Lord Vallow is my next subject matter. Thank you for joining me. Smackdown Saturday, giving you the business. Giving you the dirty business of our dirty, dirty pilgrims walking around doing this and that. When they should stay in their lane and be real, real still. I brought you information pertaining to Caitlyn Armstrong. June 26th is her trial. Deion Sanders may have to have a foot amputated. A little bit of mess pertaining to Gabby Petito case and that dirty letter that Miss Laundrie wrote her son, which leads me to believe she's guilty and she knew her son was guilty of killing this lady. Brian Kohberger requests indictment pause. More dirty nonsense coming up. And there's also an update in the Delphi murders that the trial date has been set for Richard Allen. One day ago, Court TV is the source for that information. Please check my community board for all said updates and polls. East Idaho News is my next source pertaining to Lori Vallow, everybody. They're just showing her coming out of there. One day ago, this information came to light. Lori Vallow, smiling as usual, leaving the Fremont County Court. She has been denied a new trial. For those of you who are curious to what happened in court pertaining to her requesting a new trial, it has been denied. East Idaho News is the source, everybody, for that information. And once again, the Delphi murders trial has been set for Richard Allen. One day ago, Court TV has that source. Also, if you want to hear information pertaining to the trial hearing of Lori Daybell, which got denied, Court TV is the source. That's also posted to my community board. Let's bring in new information. Also about Mr. George Floyd and the dirty Minneapolis Police Department. WFAA is the source. This content was uploaded 5 hours ago. Thank you for your time.
Minneapolis Police Department prompted by the killing of George Floyd. It concludes that for years, the department engaged in a pattern of discriminatory law enforcement practices against Black and Native American people, using unnecessary excessive force and violating the rights of protesters.
All right, this is a little information coming out of Minneapolis. So the DOJ, Department of Justice, has come to the conclusion that Minneapolis has been a dirty police department. And they have violated the rights of African Americans, many African Americans and Native Americans. And they do have a high population of Native Americans living in Minneapolis, which I did not know that. But I'd watched a documentary of homeless people in that area, and there were a lot of Native Americans who were homeless. But we've learned this over time, those who are in tune to breaking news. And I watched a documentary about how to sell drugs. 50 Cent. It is a Tribeca film. It was very interesting watching that yesterday, saying that most people arrested for drug-related crimes are Black people. Because, see, we are the ones who are always profiled. We're the ones always profiled, stopped, pulled over, implicated in a crime, implicated in doing something wrong. So while you're focusing on the Black man, the white people over here, they're walking about their business, committing crimes, and nobody's paying attention because you're too busy watching the Black man and woman in the store. You're looking at the Black man and woman driving down the street with music blaring, tinted windows, so on and so forth. Big boy rims, fancy car. That's the person I want to pull over because I can. I ain't worried about the white man driving down the street in Mercedes. Let me pull over that black guy in the Mercedes. Now, black guy may not be doing anything, but it's because I want to stop him. He's got a nice car. How'd he get that? Damn, could he have had a job? And this is a sad statistic. To be African American, Native American, Hispanic, Filipino, always being stopped for something, accused of something. Can't take a walk down the street. Can't go anywhere with your family. Can't take your kids anywhere. You got to be harassed. It's a terrible way to live, and a lot of people don't understand that life. And it's not rhetoric. It's not a myth. It's true. Following somebody around the store, asking them 15 times, may I help you? May I help you? What are you looking for? What do you need? I need you to get out my damn face. That's what I need you to do. I need you to stop following me around the damn store. Go ask that white lady over there, what does she need? What can you do for her? But see, I always tell people, kill them with kindness. I'm fine today. How are you? I'm great. If I need your assistance, I will gladly find you. What's your name, Karen? Becky? I'll come find you when I need you. See, that's how you do that. Don't get ignorant. Don't get belligerent. Kill them with kindness. Old folks saying. But when you're out in the street and you're dealing with the law, can't use that tactic. And we have too many black people dying in their house, outside, by law enforcement and civilians. Well, I thought she was doing something. She looks suspicious. Well, maybe she's lost. Maybe she's delivering food. Maybe she's going to a party. She doesn't know the house. All the houses look the same. It's dark outside. Can't read the numbers on the house, on the street. Stay woke. I got a right to walk where I want to walk. If I want to go to the park at 12 o'clock midnight, I have that right. Nobody tells me where I can go. What am I doing out here? What are you doing out here? Same thing. I can wear a hoodie if I want. Yes, a hoodie looks suspicious when it's 100 degrees outside. But we know young people like wearing hoodies, even when it's 100 degrees outside. I notice that now. 80 degrees, 77 degrees at night, going out for the evening and to get little wings and chicken and food and drinks. The young people are still wearing winter clothes. To each his own. I don't have to like it. Because sometimes what you think is going on, it's nothing going on. And I'm a watcher by nature. I'm aware of my surroundings. I'm very intuitive. I pay attention to things because I'm not trying to be a victim. So hell yeah, I'm going to watch my surroundings. And I see a lot of people doing things suspicious, such as white people. Such as going back and forth to your car, back and forward, like somebody don't know your ass is buying drugs. From somebody that's playing Susie Housemaker with a new baby. Yeah, I said that. Come for me. I got the damn receipt. You see, you don't know people. Because somebody might be watching me, worried about who the hell's coming in and out of my door, but maybe you need to be watching somebody else's doorway. I said that. Because the girl you think is walking around with a water hose every day, watering plants, might be selling dope at her house with her newborn and her little 2-year-old. Did I say that? I did say that. Because Queen watches everything. And I know that when people going back and forth to their car and they ain't bringing nothing out and taking nothing in, such as a grocery bag, something from Walmart, you doing something illegal 9 times out of 10. Checkmate. Stay woke, everybody. That's information coming out of Minneapolis. Department of Justice just released scathing reports of injustices against African American and Native Americans in Minneapolis. And I'm sure there are many other small jurisdictions, towns, and cities that are alike. That's why you have to be aware of your surroundings. Don't put yourself in a situation where you can get hemmed up. Because see, once you walk outside your door, you are ripe for the taking. Whether you are black, white, Filipino, Native American, whatever. All you got to be is in the wrong damn place. And you may be in the place where you were minding your business, but somebody decided to get in there and get nosy, Karen, Becky, John, and implicate you in something and you ain't done a damn thing. you ain't done a damn thing. That's why you have to always be aware. And see, I know how to play the mind games with Becky's and Karen's. As soon as they start that yapping at the tongue and start that spewing that bullshit out, I let them know, baby, Queen ain't interested. Bye. So you got to shut them down. See, the rule of avoiding nonsense, shut it down. As soon as you hear the words come out. Well, I think this, and I don't know what you were doing, and I don't know what he was doing. Stop it right there. Baby, did you see something? Did they say something out of the way to you? Did they have a gun, a knife, or what? No, they did. Okay, then let it go. Bye, Karen. Or just walk off all the damn together. See, the one thing I've learned, and I keep learning this about people, don't engage. You see, you don't give a fool ammunition. You don't give them an ear. You don't give them a shoulder. Because that's what they're looking for. Somebody they can spew the venom out to. Shut it down. Honey, you need to find you something to do, baby. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Sesame Street's on, honey. Shut it down. Don't give the enemy what he or she wants. But like I said, when you're in the street dealing with the law, the game is different. So what you do is you abide by the rules. As they say, exit the car, don't touch nothing, throw your hands up. They want you to get on your knees, get on the ground, let them know. If you're handicapped, tell them, sir, I can't, but I'll gladly lean against the car. Just abide. And if somebody decides to get jiggy, cuss you out, rough handle you, pray you live, and then you go get your ass a lawyer. So you can't get the enemy what he wants because he's out here. And he's in a woman form, man form, children form. They're just miserable people. Don't feed them nothing. Just don't feed them. Because see, that's really what a lot of these people want out here. They want you to feed them. Don't give them nothing. Next storyline. We've talked about Caitlyn Armstrong, Lloyd Vallow, Mr. Kohberger. Now, we got to get down to the dirty business. My main three topics are Tupac Shakur, Bill Cosby, and Mr. R. Kelly. Let's start with Bill Cosby. Thank you for joining me. Do you think Bill Cosby should be free? Supreme Court overturned his conviction. He's now an elderly man, barely can see. But nonetheless, as we say in the street, he was doing fine before them allegations and arrests. Isn't that interesting how people get so sickly once they have been charged with a crime? You're entitled to believe Mr. Bill Cosby is innocent, guilty. Some of the women are lying, not lying. Please take the poll on my community page pertaining to the allegations against Bill Cosby. Do you believe some of them? None of them? What do you believe? All of the allegations? What do you believe? Maybe I should go to that community board and check out your answers before I get into my next commentary. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you for the wonderful compliments, the pictures on my page. I have a lot of questions I'm asking you on this community page. Please take the polls. Let people hear your voice. You're also allowed to comment below the video. Pertaining to Tupac Shakur, his father believes that the government set him up, killed him. I asked you, do you believe the father's claims? 18% of you said yes. 60% of you said no. 22% of you said not sure. I-71 Maiden said, I voted not sure. In my opinion, I believe Tupac knew something or getting close to expose something or someone, and they alived him. Unsure who they are exactly. Rest in peace, Tupac. My kids were huge fans of yours. Ice71 made that comment. Do you believe the allegations made against Bill Cosby? 68% said yes. 12% no. Most of them you do believe, 6%. And some of the allegations, 14%. but 68% of you do believe the allegations against Bill Cosby. 132 votes. Also pertaining to this is another question. Should there be statute of limitations on sex crimes? 8% said yes. 92 of you said no. 92%, 113 votes. Did Supreme Court do right by overturning Bill Cosby's conviction? 24% of you said yes. 76% of you said no. 89 votes. Should Bill Cosby be serving time in prison for sexual assault? 82% of you said yes. 18% of you said no by 38 votes. Bill Cosby hit with new sexual assault lawsuit. NBC News is the source. This content was uploaded 2 weeks ago. Thank you for your time.
She's one of several Cosby accusers expected to file civil suits.
1 second.
Breaking news out of California. Actor and comedian Bill Cosby is facing a new sexual assault lawsuit. It was filed by former Playboy model Victoria Valentino. She's one of several Cosby accusers expected to file civil suits in the coming days. Our very own Kate Snow has done extensive reporting on Cosby over the years. So Kate, of course, we all know those criminal charges back in Pennsylvania. And then that conviction, though, was overturned. So what does this all mean in the civil?
Yeah, so what's happening here now is Cosby accusers are sort of finding a new way to seek justice. Victoria Valentino filed suit in Los Angeles under a new California statute that temporarily allows older cases to be filed. She's someone that I've known since 2015 when I interviewed 27 women who accused Bill Cosby of various crimes from harassment to rape. Valentino says that she met Cosby more than 50 years ago. He took her to a restaurant with a friend, offered her pills. She says she took one and immediately felt dizzy and nauseous. She says Bill Cosby raped her. Today, after filing suit, she told me she was in tears, that she never thought she would see this day. Here's a statement that she wrote to me on a text to me. Bill Cosby exploited me when I was at my lowest point and was consumed by grief. That's because she had lost her son. I hope this serves as my legacy to my family and shows those survivors who have yet to find their voices that hope and healing are possible.
Wow, really powerful words from her, Victoria Valentino. And I know she's based in California, though Nevada has separate laws when it comes to statutes on sexual assault.
Right. And so what's interesting is that they're just about to change their law in Nevada. And some of the women who've accused Cosby were involved in getting this new law passed in Nevada. Tomorrow, the governor there will sign the law that allows anyone with a claim of sexual assault, no matter how old it is, to file lawsuits in a civil claim. I've spoken with 3 other Cosby accusers today who intend to file suit as soon as they possibly can in Nevada. So that would be 4 different women, 2 different suits, pursuing the civil litigation.
You too, baby.
As we said, the criminal avenue is no longer open, so they're going with the civil.
I mean, but could have far-reaching implications. And of course, Bill Cosby remains a household name. What is he saying? What's his team saying?
Yeah, and to be clear, he is no longer in prison. He is at home. And a spokesperson for Bill Cosby did release this statement saying,
back then, hippie, back then, 50 years ago, sweetheart.
Valentino has skirted from town to town, promoting her alleged allegations. I think we have a full screen we can put up. Promoting her allegations against Mr. Cosby to anyone that would give her a platform without any proof or facts. America is continuing to see that this is a formula to make sure that no more black men in America accumulate the American dream that was secured by Mr. Cosby. That is a point that he and his attorneys have made again and again in the years that I have covered him.
I was going to say, this is an important development, but you have been covering this for years and have spoken to so many of these survivors.
7 years now since we first sat down with, as I said, 26, I think, women in one place who all had made various accusations. And at the time, Bill Cosby said he denied all of their allegations.
Well, this is definitely one to continue following. Kate Snow, thank you so much for your reporting on this.
Well, let's stop there. We know that he's done wrong because he basically admitted in the Florida court, which got this conviction overturned in the first place. It's kind of like, I guess they're basically saying it's kind of like double jeopardy. He wasn't supposed to be able to be accused of any other crimes due to his admitting in that Florida hearing of an allegation that, yes, he, gave a woman a pill, blah, blah, blah. So one would use common sense to say, well, if he did it in a modern day, in the 2000s, let's say 2005, 6, whenever this happened, then why would I think he didn't do it in the 80s and the 70s? Hello, Mr. A. Balance. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you, Jenny. So you're entitled to your opinion about Bill Cosby. But the one thing I don't like is when people try to act like, well, he's old. I I don't care. I don't care that somebody's old and then somebody brings forth the allegation. I don't know. I wasn't there. But we do have old criminals. You forgot a criminal has to age. I mean, you don't stay young forever. So you're a rapist and you've never been caught raping. And then finally somebody comes forward and say, yeah, he raped me, she raped me, whatever. I can't just say, well, no, it didn't happen because they're elderly. That's nothing to do with it. I mean, we learned this from the Golden State Killer. My goodness, look how many people he killed and murdered. And he was walking around people, have children, grandchildren. But it doesn't mean that those things he did in California, he didn't do them. You can't say he didn't do them. No, say he never got caught. That's the point. And he didn't get caught because he was a cop. He had 2 instances where he almost got caught. But he shot one person, a kid, shot him in the stomach to evade arrest. And then he shot his own fellow cop in another town where he was committing crimes in a neighboring town. I mean, this fool would travel so he could rape and assault people and break in their houses. 2 times. Golden State Killer should have been apprehended, but he was able to get out of it. That's the point. He's walking around people in relationships, a police officer, and people talked to him, dealt with him, had sex with him. You see where I'm going? But they didn't know him. Now, they said he was very standoffish as a cop. He didn't make friends easily, even on the force. But that's the point. You still didn't know he was a killer. Okay, we have a rapist who likes to give people pills. Quaaludes, he admitted it. Bill Cosby admits it in the deposition in Florida. So what I said to myself, if he will admit he gave a woman a Quaalude in 2005 or 6, why would I not think he didn't do it in 1980, 1970? Because he said it. Oh, this is something we did. It was the norm. So why would I think he wouldn't give this lady a pill? She took it, whatever, whoever took it. Here, this will make you relax. Guess what? Don't take stuff from people. But somebody was curious. Hippie was curious in the chat about the lady, how old the charge was. So let's go back and play that, and then we'll get on to the next subject.
Breaking news out of California. Actor and comedian Bill Cosby is facing a new sexual assault lawsuit. It was filed by former Playboy model Victoria Valentino. She's one of several Cosby accusers expected to file civil suits in the coming days. Our very own Kate Snow has done extensive reporting on Cosby over the years. So, Kate, of course, we all know those criminal charges back in Pennsylvania. And then that conviction, though, was overturned. So what does this all mean in the civil?
Yeah, so what's happening here now is Cosby accusers are sort of finding a new way to seek justice. Victoria Valentino filed suit in Los Angeles under a new California statute that temporarily allows older cases to be filed. She's someone that I've known since 2015 when I interviewed 27 women who accused Bill Cosby of various crimes from harassment to rape. Valentino says that she met Cosby more than 50 years ago. He took her to a restaurant with a friend, offered her pills. She says she took one and immediately felt dizzy and nauseous.
So right there, Miss Valentino says 50 years ago, she was a Playboy model. I don't know what really happened between the two, but there seems to be an MO with Mr. Cosby. Whether you're going to meet him for work, to be in a TV show, lunch, dinner, whatever your reasoning was for meeting him, bruh just like to give you damn pills. That seems to be the MO. You know, the old saying will be, well, everybody can't be lying. You're entitled to your opinion. And we know back in the day, the 60s and 70s, people were very free with their bodies. They were free with taking drugs. They were free with taking drinks. You turn your head. Somebody goes in the kitchen, say, hey, I'll be back. You want a soda pop? You want something? You don't think they're putting a damn Mickey in your drink. That's why people tell you now you have to watch when people make your drinks. You have to watch the bartender. You might have a dirty bartender. They might be working with somebody in the crowd to get you drunk. Yeah, people get down like that. That's why you never let a person bring you a drink. You order your drink at the bar. I don't give a damn if it's a Sprite, it's a water. Watch the bartender pour the drink. Never let somebody come over to your table. I'm talking about, I got a drink. I got an extra. And they may not even have done nothing to the drink, but it's better to be safe than sorry. So 50 years ago, met with Mr. Cosby, offered her a pill. She took it. She became ill, and she believes he raped her. And I think a person knows their body. And I'm not here to say she's lying or not lying. All I'm saying is too many people have this story with the pill and the feeling ill and sick or waking up and not remembering anything or vaguely remembering something. And naturally, you know your body. If you know you haven't had sex with somebody, I think that once you leave from this person's house, groggy in the fog, you're going to be feeling kind of strange down there. You're going to look in your undergarments. Come on, you guys. And you're going to notice, okay, something ain't right here. And that's why I believe a person would know, she would know, that she has had sexual intercourse without consent. Now, are some of these women making up some stories? I do not know. You're entitled to your opinion. Tupac Shakur has been given a star on the Hollywood Hall of Fame. Let's talk about Tupac Shakur. His father is making claims that he believes his son was set up. That is the latest information coming out. I'm going to play you that information. Thank you all so much. And I believe in another hour, Mr. A Balance will have some content pertaining to shenanigans down here where I stay. Yes, I saw that nice little thumbnail of Candace. That wasn't pretty. That was not pretty at all. All I saw was long hair and boom booms without a bra. And looked like a really dirty t-shirts. So I don't think many of us are shocked by that. Okay. The Art of Dialogue is the source of this information. This was uploaded 6 days ago pertaining to Tupac and the assumption that he was killed by the government. Thank you for your time, everybody. Some believe he's alive. Some believe the government killed him, I guess. Some believe that his killer is still walking around. Police know who did it, but they won't apprehend the person. Why? Why not? You entitled to your opinion.
Was playing out of his league, involving himself with the situation with Orlando Anderson in Las Vegas that night.
I should have did that. But Pop would be edgy. He's just got hyper, and he thought he had the lead. And if you notice any video, everybody's following him around. He's the moneymaker. Death Row was $100 million thing, but everybody's following Tupac. Now think about that logic. Everything he did, everybody attached themselves to him. And maybe he felt obligated to prove that I'm going to be your leader. And he struck first. Only because someone had told him that this is the guy who stole the Death Row medallion. It's like somebody told you, somebody cursed at your mother or hit your mother. You're going to approach it. Now, the way he did it was off limits. You don't, cameras every fucking where. Come on. But that's that irrational shit you do. And, you know, that broke my heart. But there's a lot of little shit that he did. But then look all the good shit he did, though. Well, look what he did. Look what he's done. I don't think it'll be done again.
I don't either.
Don't think so.
Do you think that Tupac claimed or joined the gang?
No.
The MOB gang?
No.
Do you think?
No, if you ever look at some of his pictures, he had blue bandanas on. He had red ones on. He had to, I don't want to say pretend, but he had to, that was Suge Knight thing. So what are you going to say? I'm not a part of that. I'm with you. We ride to die together. My best friend. But in reality, he wasn't. Too many people love Pop. The Crips loved him. They loved him. And if that was the case, they wouldn't love him. They would have tried to kill him. And they didn't.
Absolutely.
It had nothing to do with that.
Keefe D confessed to the United States government in a proffer agreement to handing his nephew Orlando Anderson the gun that ultimately killed your son Tupac Shakur. After Orlando was jumped at the MGM Grand, you've never spoken on this. How does that make you feel that he confessed to that and the government gave him a deal?
Well, I think the key question there is the government. The government gave him the deal. The same, he was being tailed by the government the night of his assassination. He was being tailed by the government, Quad Studio. It's a known fact. Known fact. So I don't know this guy, Keith. I don't know. Maybe he had to say that to get out of some issue. I don't know. I just know it looked like a setup to me. Somebody told this guy to stand there with the death row thing, and it pursued to what we had. But I don't think he had anything to do with the death of my son.
So you don't think Orlando Anderson had anything to do?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all, bro. Not at all. A lot of people believe that, but a lot of people believe Pac's in Cuba with a beer, Mexico, drinking tequila. Ain't no motherfucker gonna go on vacation for 27 years and escape
Oh my goodness, I'm dead.
all the notoriety that he should.
Exactly. Now I agree with that.
Nobody. People say, well, he went back to jail for the fight. Yeah, but he only had 6 months left to the charge. He could have did that standing on his head. Get out of here. So full of shit. But that's the myth, brother. That's what they want you to believe.
Pardon the language.
Let it ride. It ain't gonna do no good who we find who did it. What's going? They're not gonna prosecute. So what's the deal? Yeah?
I think you might be right about that.
All right, everybody. That's the Art of Dialogue. Hope he doesn't mind me using his content. You're entitled to believe what you want pertaining to what his father has to say. It's something about the record label. So you can take it and spin it 1,000 ways. Record label, the government, East Side, West Side, somebody from the Biggie team. How about sticking to, they were arguing in a damn hotel. People got to fighting, running out, and maybe somebody was able to follow him out to his car, his entourage, and they drove up and they shot him. You can believe whatever you want. Suge Knight's, to me, his attitude was very nasty. It ain't for me to tell. I believe that was during a Barbara Wawa interview many years ago. And this is why Suge's locked up now, because his attitude was jacked up. And if you watch that movie, Michelle's version of her dealings with all of these entities and rappers and different people, you realize just you don't know people. That's the point. And so you realize who your friends are. The man's been gunned down, and then you get a prominent interview, and the only thing you can say to the reporter is, well, it ain't for me to say who shot Tupac. Well, that's your friend, and he was on your record label. What the hell you mean? Oh, I forgot. That's right. You don't want to be labeled a snitch. Okay. So some might think Suge Knight had something to do with it. But then the flip side is, why would I want to kill my main moneymaker? And he owed him money, from my understanding, because he had, had a lot of legal troubles and everything from New York. So he needed money to pay for all these lawyers and fees and things. And this was his, what I would say, death warrant by getting involved with this record label and Suge Knight. So you see, what have I always said to you all during my live streams about what you say on your tongue? You can claim your own demise, and Tupac did that. You can't talk about dying, being shot by the police, shot by the adversary. You're claiming that. So you get hooked up with this black man you don't know a fucking thing about. He's ruthless. Anybody that would shake a white man over a balcony to get rights to his fucking song, Ice Ice Baby, should tell you something. And I don't believe that guy lied. Stay woke. If you'll do it to him, you'll do it to me. You can't trust people like that. I'm not here to say Suge Knight orchestrated the murder of Tupac. But what I'm saying is he was a ruthless man before Tupac met him. He was ruthless after Tupac's death, and he is now incarcerated. Point blank. I don't believe in all this sacrificial BS that people like to say about movie stars, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Migos, whoever. It ain't no damn sacrifice. Your sacrifice is being in the wrong fucking place at the wrong damn time. Going to places where you don't have a proper with street people. You see, that is the thing about having money. You cannot still be in the life and think something bad is not going to happen to you. You got one foot on a banana peel and one in the grave. That's the life. You don't have to have beef with anybody, but somebody may have beef with the people that you hang with. So now you are a casualty, such as what happened with Takeoff. Loner in the back, minding his business. Next thing you know, he's dead. Wrong place, wrong time. That old saying about the company you keep, it is true. It is usually the quiet ones that always get knocked off. The troublemaker, he lives forever. Ding, 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 Bill Cosby. Ding, 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 R. Kelly. Stay woke. Ding, 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 Suge Knight. The ones that's doing all the havoc, wreaking of havoc, allegations of this, and this, fraud, blackmail, rape, sexual assault, they're the ones still breathing. They're always the ones that's still breathing. Still breathing, still crying, still playing the victim. Then finally somebody gets the guts to say, you know what, I'm just going to tell people the truth about what happened with me, my truth. You entitled to believe what you want. But if you've ever noticed about these heathens, the ones who commit the most heinous of crimes, they are always the last fucking man standing. Because that's the universe. It's the way it is. It's the way it is. And it's sad. I do not believe Tupac Shakur is alive, as you heard the father say. Why would I want to give up my notoriety to go hide in Colombia or Cuba? For what? That's stupid. Very, very stupid. I believe Tupac is deceased. I believe it was some stupid person that shot him due to that altercation that took place inside of that casino in Las Vegas. Because in the end, you want me to believe the government hired somebody to rile up an argument with this entourage of Tupac's to murder him when they could have just killed him in cold blood somewhere walking in and out of a fucking Starbucks. I mean, come on, get serious. You know, this ain't no Martin Luther King assassination standing on a, hotel balcony. He was in the midst of buffoonery at a casino, hotel, whatever. So it wouldn't shock me he got shot or somebody else got shot. That doesn't shock me at all. The timing of Biggie's death, months later, the following winter, into 97, that was no shock either. Rivalry. He said, she said. People not liking each other. And you have to look at the fact. Tupac puts out the song about faith and talking bad about Biggie. Then months later, okay, Tupac dies in the fall of 96. Biggie dies, January 97. Could be related to Tupac. Hey, we think you killed Tupac. Or we think somebody did it. People will think what they want. It doesn't even mean Biggie had anything to do with it. But it's a mind thing. And you do have crazy people out here who will enact violence on behalf of thinking, these two don't get along. But I believe somebody at the scene in Vegas killed Tupac because the timing was perfect. Argument, people running out of the business, boom, he's shot on a public street. It's not magic, not a sacrifice. Just you in the wrong place with the wrong kind of people. Bad attitudes. Bad spirits. There were bad spirits in that business. Tupac tangled up with a very nasty businessman, Mr. Suge Knight. The setting was perfect. And if it wasn't at that casino, it was going to be somewhere else. Because you're with the wrong company. Stay woke. And then Tupac was very outspoken. And that can bring problems. When you have a leader, when you have a guy who does not want to be a follower, he's had issues with the law. He's spitting all type of craziness out of his mouth, in his songs. That can bring trouble. And then you're talking about it in your rap songs. You're claiming it. And that's in the scripture. Speak it, and it shall be so. It's in Psalms. You have to be very careful what you say on your tongue. This is why you don't claim bad things for yourself. I don't care if your life is in disarray at the moment. Don't claim something else bad's going to happen. Don't claim, oh, I might get shot tomorrow. I might get stabbed. Oh, he's going to kill me. She's going to kill me. Don't claim that, because 9 times out of 10, it probably will happen. Because the universe is listening. And the universe has minions running around. The devil is using these people. So you're out here claiming crazy stuff about yourself. You're talking about getting shot, beat up, the police. 9 times out of 10, that's probably how you're going to leave here. That's why it's not good to claim those things. But we know in the rap game, underground rap, that is all they talk about is violence, gun, women, derogatory conversations. And the next thing you know, you are actually living what you have rapped about in a song. Sadly. I'm going to bring you a little more commentary pertaining to Tupac. And then my last conversation will be about Mr. R. Kelly. Thank you for joining me, everybody. All this information is via my community page if you need verification. This Art of Dialogue has a lot of conversations with Mr. Billy Garland, Tupac's father, and you will hear him giving his opinion. Tupac and Kia Morris's relationship and different conversations. So if you want to get more in-depth information pertaining to Mr. Billy Garland and what he has to say about his deceased son and other people, the Art of Dialogue is the source. I'm going to play you this one guy's commentary, once again by the Art of Dialogue. Orlando Anderson didn't kill Tupac. The higher-ups killed Tupac and were behind the Quads Studios setup. Here is the commentary from an African-American male. Thank you all so much for joining me. Once again, the Art of Dialogue is the source. Cut it out, Jenny. Y'all behave down there.
Martin Luther King, you got to look at Malcolm X, you got to look at Kennedy, you got to look at any of the people that's been murdered for standing up for something and going against the status quo. And I really believe Pac, I believe the higher ups seen Pac as a threat, and the older he got, the bigger threat he was going to be. And I believe that they had something to do with him being murdered, bro. I just believe that. You know what I'm saying? They eliminate anybody that tries to go against the status quo. They believe they eliminate anyone that's gonna push our people into a better mind state, a better situation. They eliminate you. You feel me? And I believe that's what happened with Pop. It always happened to our leaders, bro. Our prolific leaders that's leading us in the right direction. Something happened to them. They get erased some type of way. And I'm going to be real. I ain't no big conspiracy theorist. But, I believe it was bigger than just that. You know what I'm saying? I believe the higher-ups, people that's higher up that's pulling the strings, the puppet masters, had something to do with my boy not being here no more. Feel me? Again, bro, it's just all this shit is really part of a bigger plan, bro. That it's a lot of shit that go on behind the scenes that we don't know and that we don't see. That's energies that's moving around us, bro, that create these situations. You know what I mean? Puff for sure, bro. I know this. Puff didn't have Pop killed. You know what I'm saying? Puff didn't have nothing to do with the quad shit. You feel me?
Oh, that sounds interesting.
That was the narrative that these motherfucking puppet masters want us all to believe.
Yeah.
It's like a smoke screen. You feel me? They wanted to make that East-West shit a thing. So when they kill these two dudes, how the two top dudes on both coasts end up getting killed months apart? Like, just think about it, bro. It's both movements on both coasts. They got all these people involved, not just black, Mexican, Latino, white, Asian. Nigga, they love both of them. Pop could have told a million motherfuckers, let's go burn the White House down on Tuesday. Meet me on Tuesday. And you'll be surprised how many people would have been there.
Exactly. Now, I will agree with that part.
Ready with gas and matches. You feel me? They were scared of that, bro. They scared of power. What Public Enemy said a long time ago, bro? Fear of a black planet. They scared of that. So whenever they see us moving in strength and moving in numbers, because there's power in numbers, they gonna eliminate that, bro. They gotta get rid of that motherfucker. What they do with Huey Newton? He's running the rest in peace, running the Black Panther. We gotta chop off the head and the body gonna fall. So let's chop this nigga off on the West Coast and chop the head off on the East Coast, and that shit gonna fall. You feel me? I'm telling you, it's bigger than we think, bro. And I'm gonna keep saying that. It is. And the people that really know how energy work and how these higher ups at the top of the pinnacle run this shit, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man, that's an interesting way to look at it, man. So you feel like Tupac getting shot at Quad Studios, a higher power is the one that sent it?
Yeah. I mean, because I feel like, he had beef with them niggas out there. You know what I mean? So I feel like they the ones who sent them. Like, niggas was trying to knock, bro. You feel me? But again, everybody, you got people that's working for people, man. That they was trying to get rid of my guy, man. They was trying to get rid of our guy for a long time, bro. And they just missed on that one. You feel me? But Pac felt that though, bro. He knew he wasn't gonna be here long. That's why he talked as much shit as he did. He was fearless. You dig what I'm saying? So he talked all the shit he wanted to talk. He said what he wanted to say. And he put niggas on blast he wanted to put on blast. And he did what he wanted to do because he knew. And he worked so hard, bro, in the studio. Anybody that knew him knew how he recorded, how fast he was. And I remember him always telling us, bro, a real nigga pick how he gonna die. That's what he used to always say. I'll never forget that. A real nigga choose how he gonna leave.
Very interesting.
You know what I mean? I used to not try to understand what he meant by that, but now I kind of do. You know what I mean? He kind of narrated his own demise the way he wanted it to be. That's why he said, "I'll be a legend, either breathing or dead." You know what I'm saying? So, he created his situation. He created his reality the way he wanted it. But they had been trying to get rid of my guy, man. You know what I'm saying? They just missed on that one. That's all.
All right, everybody. Did he claim his death? Knew he was going to die. That was his motto. Let his friend, this guy say this was his motto. So Tupac chose to die this way. This is the way he wanted to die, inside of a car. Shot up. Yes, he talked a lot of SHIT. Yes, he was good at that. The man you heard talking is named Macadocious, who gives his beliefs on what happened to Tupac and who was behind his demise. So I'm going to ask Mr. Macadocious, who are the higher ups that you believe took out Mr. Tupac Shakur? Who are they? Higher ups such as who? Record labels, who? Head gang members, who? I'd just like to know who you're talking about. We know you can't say who you actually think took out his life, but the father believes the government helped conspire. They were following him, tailing him. Is that true? The government was following and tailing Mr. Tupac when he was in Las Vegas. I've never heard of such, and nobody would ever tell that anyway. The government would never tell that. They're not going to tell they had anything to do with somebody's death. I don't give a damn who it is. So do you believe that? And do you believe these high up people? So high ups can be anybody. The government, let the father tell it. And then this guy talking, what high ups are he speaking of? High ups in the street or high ups in the government? Because there's a difference. And yes, a lot of people don't want to see black people excel and make moves because some of our own people don't want to see us make moves and excel. And usually, we've learned this, we don't really need any white people, law officials, government killing us because we're doing a good job of doing it our damn selves. Yes, we know this. We don't need anybody to tell us this. We're our own worst enemy because we're jealous, we're envy-hearted, we're trifling, pathetic. Don't have no get about, as my mama used to say when I was growing up. You need some get about yourself. So you don't want to see somebody else progress. So really, we don't need the government to kill our black leaders, our black rappers, our professional black people doing well, and even the regular Joe, the garbage man, the butcher, baker, candlestick maker. All you need is somebody that's just envy-hearted. Checkmate. You got $5 more in your pocket, your bank account, than Pookie, Ray Ray got a problem with you. Bob, Joe, Jamisha, LaQuisha, Karen, Becky, whoever got a problem with you. Jealousy is rampant, no matter the race, no matter your profession, religious background, weight, height. You have street people jealous of street people, rich people jealous of rich people, middle class jealous of middle class, white jealous of white, black jealous of black, black jealous of white, white jealous of black. She's pretty. She gets all the attention. Oh, and boy, are we seeing that as of late. Folks worried about who talking to somebody. Woo, you sure know a lot of people. No, I know of people. There's a difference. And you know, in the street, one would say, why you watching me and what I'm doing? Because really, I ain't doing nothing. But you have people like that. They're always watching your moves. And you know, Queen stays alert. I done told y'all. There's a lot of things I watch. I don't speak on it. But there's some things I've been noticing as of late. And you could tell, yeah, I'm going to say it. It's kind of bothering somebody. Why? So you don't watch the player. You want to get in the game, then put your bid in. Now, some of you who don't know what I'm saying, you best listen closely because I'm not going to explain it to you. Because I'm talking in circles as not to tell what I'm telling. Stay woke. You want to get in the game, put your bid in, but don't be a hater. That's what I'm saying. Don't worry about what somebody else doing. Don't worry about what somebody else got going on. You do you. You be the best you can be. Don't worry about Karen, Becky, Angela. Worry about yourself. It's called self-preservation. As I just said, it didn't shock me Biggie getting shot months later because all it took is just like what the guy just said. Somebody say, let's go to the White House, let's burn it down, let's go do this, let's go do that. There's somebody stupid enough to go with the gasoline and the matches. That's probably what happened here with Biggie. Somebody thought, oh, you and your entourage or somebody you know got something to do with Tupac's death. Well, now let me catch you slipping. That's all it takes. Doesn't have to be a government conspiracy. Doesn't have to be gang related. Doesn't have to be an actual hit. Could just be, I think you got something to do with the death of Tupac. Now I'm going to put you down. Tupac and these people fighting in a damn casino hotel. Now somebody has watched them get in a car, follow the car, boop, 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 boom, dead. Where's the conspiracy? Bring a receipt. Because in the end, nobody's going to ever testify to a conspiracy. Nobody's ever going to say, yeah, I was a hired hit man to kill Biggie. I was a hired hit man to kill Tupac. Who the hell's going to tell that? Nobody. So that's why it's pointless to even sit up here and try to say, oh, the government did it. Oh, the CIA did it. What the hell does CIA care about a damn rapper? Most crime in the street. Ding, 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 ding. News alert. It's from street people. No damn government. Oh, let us infiltrate. You act like it's the fucking mobs. This is John Gotti days. Stop trying to compare the two because it ain't no comparison. The mob is totally different than the street stuff. Yeah, they act mobbish. But one man rapping about being shot, this and that, adversary BS. That was one man's version of his life. The government didn't have to get involved and do a damn thing. The people that was around him took care of that. That's my opinion. Robert Sylvester Kelly. I'm not going to lean on Tupac too much. But once again, he's got a star now. I also got information pertaining to his mother on my page. I've decided I'm not going to play that commentary because I want to end this stream because I got a lot I need to do today. But I want to thank you all for following the content. Once again, if you'd like to donate to this network, $ Big Angie, 129 Cash App, stickers and chat to welcome to the live stream. Robert Kelly. They say he's sick. He's got health problems. Once again, as I said, so amazing how when everybody goes to jail and prison, they can't see. They need eyewear. They got glaucoma. They can't breathe. They got all these malfunctions. And perhaps they had these problems anyway. It's just they were too honorary to go to the damn doctor because they're too busy putting Mickeys in people's drinks and sexually assaulting women and wanting to rape them and chase after little girls. They don't have time to go to the damn doctor and take care of their health. Woe is me. Robert Kelly. One of your victims says she wants your medical records to be public knowledge. You gave her an STD, which will lead me to believe the other women that you've had sex with, they also have the same STD. Lord have mercy. I'm dead. Please go to my community page. I have other content pertaining to R. Kelly on my community board. We have Vlad speaking to why he did not reveal an interview that he had done because he didn't like the way that R. Kelly was trying to spin this, I guess, the narrative of why these people were after him and blah, blah, blah. Please go to my community board for Vlad's commentary. Then there's also information about all the proof you need about R. Kelly's abusing women, his body. It's 19 minutes long. Very interesting information. And 5 years ago, a woman files a lawsuit claiming R. Kelly deliberately gave her an STD. And this is one of the women who is now wanting his medical records revealed to the public. Do you believe R. Kelly's medical records should be public knowledge? Once again, CBS Chicago is the source. And this is content from 5 years ago. And now it is coming back into the public's eye. She wants his medical records revealed to the public. But this interview is from 5 years ago. CBS Chicago is the source. Thank you all so much for joining me.
If I were to even talk to him again, my question would be like, why haven't you stopped? Not only are you abusing women, you're literally leaving your mark on them. And even if you want to move on, you still have to, you're reminded of the situation because of this. It was like everything was perfect. And then when you see him, it's like he turns, he just has this switch that goes off. And he just turns to like this hypersexual being. And being young, you know, you make a lot of mistakes, but this mistake is one I'm going to have to live with for the rest of my life. You know, I'm only 20. I have a lot of anxiety about what's going to happen after this. But what I'm not going to do is ignore what's going on.
That was 5 years ago. It's from Miss Faith. Herpes is what she alleges that he gave her. And I have said this during my commentary, plural, pertaining to R. Kelly, that if indeed he gave her this disease, what else has he given her and other women? Because one day it's herpes, trichomonas, gonorrhea, whatever. Next is going to be HIV AIDS, because that's usually how people get HIV. You know, numerous sex partners, unprotected sex. And they say you ante up your risk of getting HIV by having, unprotected sex and also numerous partners and also hepatitis, so on and so forth. So my thing is, if he slept with a lot of women and men, because there are allegations he slept with boys and men as well, he is bisexual, then you have a high chance of also having HIV, Mr. R. Kelly, and the ladies who have slept with him. So I think I would be very concerned about having HIV. And my thing is, does he have it and has he given someone HIV or they've given it to him? Because he has slept with a lot of females. Let's just say females and men. And if he has slept with men, you really have emptied up your chance of getting AIDS. Come on now, HIV. So you got a man sleeping with men and women. Then you got to count whoever these women and men and young girls and boys were sleeping with, other partners. Everybody passing the same disease and other diseases amongst each other and bacteria. And one woman claimed that he had a very nasty smell down there. Well, he would have a nasty smell if he has, one, bad hygiene, and two, he has a venereal disease and he doesn't have it treated. That's anybody, even a woman. She has a bigger opening than a man. You're walking around carrying some nasty diseases, and they do have their own distinctive odor, plus your own body odor. Hell yeah, you're going to smell. And that was so disturbing to me when I heard the woman say that years ago. He had a horrible smell downtown. And imagine, he loves putting his pee-pee in women's faces, as you heard one lady who did his hair said. You go from braiding his hair to now he's shoving his penis in your face. What the hell? And as you heard her say, hypersexual. I do believe that. And I believe this came from childhood because he was molested by a neighbor, he and his brothers. So factor in a child being molested by neighbors, family members, his own sister. He will be a hypersexual being. And it's not saying that all people who are molested as children act like R. Kelly, but you have a high chance of being promiscuous as a child, promiscuous as an adult, and also an offender. Stay woke. And that's what he became. The victim became the offender. That is nothing new. That's why you have to get help when you hear and see things that you know you don't need to be around, participating in them, especially when it's dealing with a child. You need to get mental help, because why do you want to walk around being an offender when you know you were violated as a child yourself? You don't want to be that dirty bird. But that's what R. Kelly became. That's why he was hanging outside of the high schools as a young man himself. He had no reason to be hanging outside of a high school. You're not a high schooler. You dropped out of school. But that's the point. He was missing something in his life. That's why he gravitated towards young girls, because he missed his childhood. You've been violated as a child. His mother would keep him in the house. She didn't let him go play outside with other children. I do not know how long this went on and how old he was before he was able to venture out like normal children. She was stunning his growth mentally, physically. Then he's being touched by his sister. Then he's being touched by the older man. So now he's acting this stuff out. Now he wants to touch his own brother, touch other relatives, touch kids, little girls, boys. And then he's a bisexual. That's because he's had contact with a man. That's nothing new in that arena. But you need to get help so you don't become an offender. R. Kelly is going to always suffer because he refuses to own his shit. He refuses to own that he likes little boys and girls. He likes sex with women, black, white, Latino. He don't care. Hey, he likes sex with men. This motherfucker is wide open. But guess what? Like I said, where he is now, hey, you can get all the sex you want from men because you do like sex with men, Mr. Robert Kelly. Call a spade a spade. One of his other victims, who eventually had sex with one of the younger girls at the time They said she lied about her age, Miss Van Allen. They said she says now she is broke and homeless. I do not know how true that is, that she is having financial problems. My understanding, she went to the radio station at the time when she met Robert Kelly in Texas. So I'm trying to figure out, she does have a skill. So how could she be homeless and nowhere to live and nowhere to go? This is very strange to me. We're going to go back to content from 9 months ago. WGN News is the source. This is some dirty business pertaining to Robert Kelly and one of his victims. 6 years after R. Kelly's girlfriend took an illicit tape from the singer's collection, Kelly's business manager told her that they should have murked me from the beginning, the woman testified Thursday. This is from almost a year ago.
During cross-examination in this hard-fought legal battle, 42-year-old Lisa Van Allen testifying at R. Kelly's child pornography and conspiracy trial here at the Dirksen Federal Building. She says that she was coerced into threesomes with R. Kelly and a 14-year-old girl, videotaped on at least one occasion by R. Kelly himself. According to the witness, she testifies that she felt threatened by Kelly's business manager. "You made money off your relationship with R. Kelly, didn't you?" alleges defense lawyer Bo Brindley. "Made money? I was given money," the Day's star witness says. "You wrote a book about your relationship with R. Kelly," he counters. "I wrote a book about my life," she says. The gloves coming off and bruising cross-examination at R. Kelly's Chicago trial, defense attorneys focusing on what they contend are glaring contradictions. "There have been multiple occasions where your story keeps changing." "No, that's not true," she says, the 42-year-old star witness of the day pushing back. Former Robert Kelly girlfriend Lisa Van Allen says it was a frightening encounter with a menacing Daryl McDavid, the famous singer's business manager. "He said they should have murked me from the beginning," Van Allen testifies as she breaks down in tears. Assistant U.S. Attorney Jason Julian following up. "What did you interpret the word murk to mean?" he asks. "Kill me," Van Allen testifies. The former girlfriend taking the stand on the 9th day of Kelly's trial at the Dirksen Federal Building. On the stand, Van Allen talks about her motive for stealing one of Kelly's sex tapes, the one with the threesome, disturbed by the participation, she says, of a 14-year-old girl by the name of Jane, a pseudonym to protect her identity. The subsequent hunt for the stolen tape and copies circulating on the streets, spearheaded by McDavid, one of Kelly's co-defendants. "You say you were afraid. Why were you afraid?" he asked Van Allen. "I never knew that they were thinking about killing me," she responds, bursting into tears. Prosecutors alleging McDavid and R. Kelly himself offered hundreds of thousands of dollars to Van Allen and others in a frantic effort to recover the missing underage sex tape and suspected copies. Van Allen testifying she actually received tens of thousands of dollars in payments from McDavid, agreeing to undergo several polygraph tests at McDavid's behest. Van Allen later turning state's witness, contacting prosecutors in the lead up to Kelly's 2008 child pornography trial in Cook County. You may remember Van Allen testifying during that 2008 trial in Cook County where R. Kelly was acquitted. Federal prosecutors are now accusing Kelly and two co-defendants of rigging that trial. At the Dirksen Federal Building, Julian Cruz, WGN News.
All right, everybody. That's WGN News. Oh, I really like playing their content because they're very funny about you playing their content on a live broadcast. But anyway, we're going to roll with it. That was months, almost a year ago, where she said they threatened her. She took a tape. I never knew she was the one that took the tape because I didn't follow all of that information last year. But anyway, she took the tape. As most of you know, that tape got out, circulated in the early 2000s because I got a visual in 2001. The summer, fall of 2001, I got a visual of that tape. And it's bad because there are different scenes of him having sex with different women. And in one scene, you do see R. Kelly having sex with a young girl. She's basically riding Mr. R. Kelly, sexual act. And you can look at the girl's body and see that it's not a woman. It looks like a child's body. The vagina looks like a girl's vagina. It doesn't look fully developed. But that's what was so baffling in watching it. He was like, wait a minute. The body looks like a little kid. There's no breasts. You know, you could tell the chest wasn't fully developed. And the first thing I thought was, what the hell am I looking at? This looks like a child having sex with a man, but her body looks like a girl, a little girl. So I said, how in the world is she able to, have sex with Mr. Kelly? Because, he had a, decent sized penis. It was just hard to even visualize it. So fast forward now. All these allegations, Mr. Kelly is incarcerated, still facing other charges in other states that will resume at a later date. We also learned that he ended up paying that same victim and her family money. Now we hear about this tape from last year. Why would you want to pay someone money for a tape? That means there's something on it that is incriminating. One, you possibly filming women without their permission. Their faces being seen in the tapes. And the obvious, you had sex with a child on the tape. So you definitely wouldn't want that out. And like I said, anybody seeing the tape will see that's a child he's having sex with. It's not a fully developed woman. But he was acquitted on those charges of the sexual act with the child because she didn't want to testify naturally. She didn't want to testify. But allegedly he paid her family off. That has now come out. And now you have Ms. Van Allen testifying, allegedly giving different versions and testimonies to the court. Some say she lied about not knowing that was a child she was having sex with. But she was only a few years older than the child, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Whether she was 20s, late 20s. Anyway, you're entitled to your opinion of what she knew and didn't know. But this is what happens when you get yourself wrapped up with a dirty male. You're doing stuff that you possibly don't really want to do, but you like the guy, so you go along with it. So whether it was a child or a woman, maybe she really didn't want to have sex with another woman, but she liked R. Kelly. Well, I go on to try it anyway. Then all this mess comes out about the child's age. Then you realize probably in hindsight, damn, I was having sex with a kid. So I don't know if she lied to say, no, I didn't know that was a child, or she actually knew that was a little girl at that time. Who's to say? Who wants to admit that, yeah, I knew I was having sex with a 14-year-old? Nobody. Unless you're just a real sick person like R. Kelly. But nonetheless, sex, no sex, knew of the age, that still has nothing to do with the fact that R. Kelly chose young girls. So whether it was Van Allen, Shamika, whoever, that's an R. Kelly problem. He is attracted to young boys and girls. That's obvious. Because there are many people he's had sex with and solicited, and they were children, and it didn't have nothing to do with menage a trois or any of that. He used people to go talk to these people, and they're just as sick. What the hell you look like being a messenger to go pass a message to a child from a grown-ass man? You a vow. And I ain't getting ready to pass no message from an adult to an adult. That's not good. And I've told people that. You know what? I don't think it's a good idea. You got something you want to say to that lady over there? You're going to say it to her. What do I look like going to another woman saying, hey, this guy is interested. He wants your number or he wants to talk to you. You two are going to have to talk anyway. So what is the purpose of having a messenger? And when you become an adult, you really shouldn't pass messages to other people. Let them speak for themselves. And if you have a man that can't even hold a conversation with a woman, that's bad news right there. Red flag, big red flag. Hey, what's your homegirl's name? Hey, you know her. Hey, tell her I want to holler at her. Hey, tell her I'm interested. Hey, she's cute. She's fine. She's this. Buddy, go talk to her yourself. But there's no way you can explain a grown man soliciting children, and no way can you explain being a messenger soliciting children. And all these dirty birds that work for R. Kelly, you knew he liked young kids because some of you passed messages, phone numbers, business cards to the kids at concerts, at the mall, at restaurants, so on and so forth. And you knew better. You knew better. You are aiding a pedophile. So to me, you're no different than R. Kelly. He can't read, he can't write, but he knows how to have sex. He knew how to do that. And that's what's so interesting about it. He can sing, play the piano, all this old nonsense, but he can't read and write. How ironic is that? Every song is about sex, screwing, on the down low. If you go back in the R. Kelly archive, all the songs about screwing and in the closet and this and that, but he can't damn read and write. Did you just think about that for a second? How in the hell that could be your only focus in your songs? You ain't got to tell nobody. I won't tell nobody. But can't read and write. It's disturbing. So that testimony from Ms. Van Allen about the tape, having sex with an underage person, now there are claims that she is currently broke and destitute. And also she was the one making the claim that they said they should have murdered her. How interesting is that? And that's my point. You're searching for a tape. You've offered her money for the tape. She's taking money. Why would you want her dead? Because you obviously believe she's the one that took the tape. I believe she conspired with one of his other little homies or whatever. Because I always thought that in the beginning when I first heard the tape was out. I said somebody knew about the tape and knew where to find the tape. And see, that's even more disturbing. Why would you have a tape out and accessible for somebody to see it, view it, or steal it, copy it, sell it? That goes to show you R. Kelly never cared for anybody. And he didn't even care for himself. Because the fact that you had tapes available and ready for anybody to just come and pick it up and look at it and then take it and do what they want, that shows you didn't even care about yourself. You didn't care about your own fucking livelihood. You didn't care to secure your own bag. Because as I said, self-preservation should be number one. But he's just dumb as a bag of rocks. All he cares about is screwing. As you heard the young lady say, Miss Faith, he was hypersexual. And I believe that. And that comes from childhood being violated as a boy. That's all he knows is to screw. Have sex with men, women, boys, girls. He don't care. So, yeah, I taped you. I got the tape over there under the bed. Nobody should even have access to the tapes. Because first of all, the tape should have never been made. Number one. Number two, you're just leaving around for any Joe Blow, Susie May to find the tape and make money off the damn tape. Then later you want to threaten the person that you think stole the damn tape. This is stupid. So you can't read, you can't write. All you know how to do is screw and make threats and use people and manipulate people, and they're stupid enough to follow in behind your dumb ass. But this happens every day. This is what people need to understand about the world. Doesn't matter if you're R. Kelly, Bill Cosby. There's always somebody that will follow in behind these people, irregardless. And there were people who would do it with people who are not famous. People are manipulated every day by random people who are not famous. So famous uses and abuses people, regular people use and abuse people. It's the way of the world. Miss Van Allen alleges she is broke and homeless and opens a fundraiser. This is the same lady that wrote a book. You heard this testimony from WGN News. She wrote a book about him, testified, court, also gave information in the documentaries from Lifetime about Mr. Robert Kelly, surviving R. Kelly, and now she has no funds, money. Let's hear this information. LFN Media is the source.
Van Allen. That's just how popular one can get for lying on the R&B king. While many women have made it their business to tell the worst lies ever about Robert Sylvester Kelly, Lisa Van Allen has taken it to another level. She carried forward lies she made as early as 2008 when she testified against R. Kelly, hoping to have him locked up, something which did not happen for her then, and bringing it all forward into the Chicago federal court, where she gave yet another shot at pinning obstruction of justice charges on the R&B king. Thankfully, again like before, She did not succeed, and R. Kelly was acquitted of these bogus charges along with his two co-accused Daryl McDavid and Milton June Brown. After failing at her 2008 attempt to take down the R&B king, scorned ex-girlfriend Lisa Van Allen did not stop talking or change the narrative that suggested she had been 17 years old and therefore a minor when she first met R. Kelly. When she decided to tell this despicable lie among several others, she appeared to have been motivated by two things. First, this was to protect herself from getting charged for sleeping with minors, as her testimony, which suggested she was involved in triangular encounters popularly known as threesomes in which the alleged victim Rashonda participated, were self-incriminating.
Wow.
And second,
Showing her picture
this would qualify her as a victim too, and she would stand to receive a share of any restitutions R. Kelly would have had to pay had he lost the case. She therefore continued with this narrative at every other interview she took, including one she did with Vlad. It wasn't until she was busted that she dropped this talk of having been 17 years old, but she undeniably managed to carry on with a lie of this magnitude and nature for decades. For this reason, the world was in shock to see her take the stand again as a government witness in an attempt to incriminate R. Kelly by forcing obstruction of justice charges on him. It is still unbelievable that the government could have been short of witnesses to justify their false claims, to a point of thinking bringing such a perpetual liar renowned for being untruthful under oath could pass without notice. It shows just how desperate the government was to see R. Kelly locked up more than stand for the truth and let justice prevail. As if government bringing a perpetual liar to the stand to abuse the honorable court of the United States was not enough, Lisa Van Allen...
I'm going to stop there because this LFN media is basically rooting for Mr. Kelly. But I just wanted to bring something that says she's broke, penniless. I don't know if those allegations are true or not. But nonetheless, she should have a skill to be able to take care of herself. Because as I said, it is alleged that when she met Mr. Kelly, she was working for a news a radio. She was a radio host for a radio station. So I don't know if she met R. Kelly at 28 or 16, 18, 17. But there is a picture that I just viewed in the queue that looks like Miss Van Allen, and she looked awfully young. So she does not look 28 in that photograph where she's sitting on R. Kelly's lap, because R. Kelly looks young. They both look young in the photograph. So I don't know if she met him at a young age, 17, then rekindled something with him down the road to where she ended up doing this menage a trois with the underage 14-year-old girl at that time. I don't know. But as I said, there's a picture of her on someone's thumbnail, and she's very young in that photograph, which leads me to believe she met R. Kelly when she was a young person, but maybe reconnected years down the road and ensued in this menage a trois. But as I said, whether it's Van Allen at 28, 26, 25, whatever, it still has nothing to do with the fact that R. Kelly chooses young women and boys. Because if it wasn't Van Allen, it was going to be somebody else that went along with doing a menage a trois with a kid. And if he tells you, oh, yeah, she's 18, she's 19, who are you to question her? You'd have to know verbatim that Van Allen knew the little girl was actually a little girl. And who's going to admit that? Oh, yeah, at the time I knew she was a kid. Who wants to admit that? Nobody. Like I said, unless you're just crazy as hell. Is she doing this for money? Wanting money? All these stories she's told about R. Kelly. And she was the oldest at the time, grown. So many people say, well, you knew what kind of person he was. He had different women living in the house. So why didn't you just leave? Why did you return? Because there was a point where she was able to leave, go back to Texas. Then she went back, moved in with R. Kelly. Yes, that was her choice. I agree. You didn't like the sexual practices, the extra parties, the men, the whomever boys, you should have never went back. But that's the pull that a lot of these men have on women as well. You get tangled up. There's something about them you like, even though there's some things about them you don't like, dirty things you know that they're doing is wrong, illegal, but you get tangled up and you still fool with them. Many of us are guilty of doing that. Maybe not as perverse as R. Kelly, but they're rank, foul-mouthed, ratchet, whorish, cheap. But you fool with them anyway. But when you're talking about messing with children, that's a totally different ballgame. You don't mess with sadists. You don't mess with abusers. If they're physically abusive, you need to run like hell. Mentally, run like hell, because you deserve better than that. And I have to tell myself that every day. When you see the signs that they are not right, they're rude, they're nasty, they're heathens, cut them off, because the person you think or thought they were, that's not them. And maybe you're holding on to that image. They appeared nice when I first met them. They can be nice. Well, that's the point. Can be and doing are two different things. So what you need to judge is what you're dealing with accordingly at that time. They ain't nice right now. They don't talk nice right now. Cut their ass off. Because yesterday, 5 years ago, ain't today. And that's where we make our mistakes in dealing with people. We thought we knew them. They appeared nice at that time. But soon after, you realize you're not dealing with a nice guy, nice lady. And yet you keep riding the ride. And in the end, you don't have anybody to blame but yourself. And we're all guilty of dealing with people that do not mean us good. And there's not one human that can say they've never been in that situation. I believe you'll be a liar. Because people fool with rotten people every damn day. And the reason you fool with them is for different reasons. Loneliness, complacency, family member, child, spouse, in love, out of love, infatuation, obsession, whatever it is. But the reason is never good enough when you have sold your soul to the devil. That's my commentary pertaining to Robert Kelly. As I said, he's facing other charges in other states. I believe Minneapolis is on the table, Detroit. And I don't see Robert ever getting out of prison. I just don't. Too many fables, too many stories, just too much of everything. And I believe he likes sex. He's oversexed. And that has been his downfall. And he never thought he would end up in prison, jail. But this is what happens when you are a narcissist and you have a God complex and you're a sociopath. You don't think that you can be destroyed. You do not believe that you can be taken down. And as I said, this happens with random people every day who are not famous. They're not athletes. They're not politicians. They're random people. They have the same nasty attitude. They have the same nasty disposition. And eventually, the house of cards will fall. Thank you, Sweet Tea. Thank you for joining me. They will fall. And I've seen it here recently with somebody. And that will be my next live stream. We will go in the belly of the beast. And I will give you my personal opinion pertaining to black men. What I'm sick of and what I'm tired of. That'll be my next live stream. Tired, fed up. The nastiness, the lies, the God complex, the sociopathic behavior, the unwillingness to try to change and do right. The endless moaning and whining and playing the victim. I'm over it. Sick of it. And something I've seen here recently. Older, younger, tall, fat, short, doesn't matter. The conversation is always sexual in nature. Always sex. Never, how you doing, Miss Lady? You look nice tonight. Glaze over small talk. What you doing later? Can I come see you? Maybe we can get together and drink at your house. No, player, ain't no drinking here. We're at a bar drinking. So why do we need to go to my place to drink? See where I'm going? Don't know me from a can of paint. But say, oh, you get bored, or if you want some company later, or you want to drink later, you say you don't like the drinks here, maybe we can go to your place to drink. No, we're not going nowhere to drink. Yeah, I know the drinks are going to taste better at my house because I made the drinks. Checkmate. You're damn right about that. But I ain't going nowhere at my address with you because I don't want you there. Old man. And then had the nerve to say he was married. That's going to be my next live stream. What queen is fed up with dealing with the black man. I'm tired. Frustrated, aggravated, insulted. I'm just tired. And I've seen it with so many different people, not just with my own race. Let me say that, because you always got to clarify. You know, even as a black person, you can never give your opinion. Why are you talking about black men? Why don't you talk about the good black men? Yeah, I'd talk about them if I was talking to some of them. How about that? Let me meet some where I can give a damn testimony. I would have no problem. Just fed up, just tired. And when I see these type of stories with Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, Weinstein, Epstein, you know, it's all the same. It's sickening to me that these people are walking around and they have no value to bring to the world. They're only valuable to God because God created them. But to the rest of us, they're obsolete. They're nothing. Just a lump of flesh. No respect for women, no respect for man. Always using their authority, using their clout to get over and manipulate and con people. And foolishly, people go along with the program. And this is where we have to stop aiding the sadist, because he or she will never stop if you don't allow them to continue. This is why I made the comment earlier in my live stream about engaging with the fool. Stop engaging. Stop giving these sadists a pass to manipulate, to con, to abuse, to disrespect you, to disrespect others. Because this is why they keep doing it. It's because they have been allowed to. And they will not stop until they decide to change or they're 6 feet under. Take your pick. We allow people to disrespect us when we keep dealing with them, when we let them say absurd, nasty talk, filthy mouth talk, derogatory talk, put their hands on us, and then we take them back. We go back in. We got to stop. Make it hard for the abuser to continue. I want to thank you for your time. This was a roundabout Smackdown Saturday. Tupac Shakur, his father believes he was set up. Nevada, California allowing you to bring forth civil charges with allegations of assault, sexual assault. R. Kelly, one of his victims, believes his medical record should be public record. Should his records be public? I really didn't go into much of that, and I guess I should have, because I got stuck on that Van Allen mess. But as I said, you're passing diseases, HIV or syphilis or whatever, should those records be allowed to the public? Because there was differences in opinions in court a while back about him having herpes, not having herpes, whatever. Well, who would better know that you got herpes than somebody that you gave it to? So this lady feels like, hey, his records need to be public knowledge because he's passed these diseases alone. So do you believe he should have his records made public, his medical records? Because as I said, if one person's coming forward with herpes, who's next to come and say, yeah, I got it too? And like I said, if he gave this one herpes, everybody else got herpes too, 9 times out of 10. Lori Vallow denied a new trial. Kohberger playing mind games in the court, arguing about the grand jury selections. He and his attorneys don't believe he can get a fair trial because of the media. Crybaby syndrome, nobody's interested. Caitlyn Armstrong will be going to court June 26th for murdering a cyclist in the state of Texas. Very dirty game she and this lady and this guy were playing. And frankly, he's lucky to be alive. How about that? You see, that's another thing about murder. The perpetrator chooses who he or she will kill in a love triangle. I want him alive because I want him, but I want her dead because she's in the way. And what we have learned about that is that you could kill the opposition, but it does not mean the one you're infatuated with will choose you, because the opposition is no longer alive. Because that's the point. He didn't want you in the first place. And if he wanted you, he's not doing what he needs to do to keep you because he's got a problem with his penis. He has a penis problem called I can't keep it in my pants. So guess what? The dead girl don't get him, and neither do you, Kaitlin. So now he will go on to get another victim. And God forbid he ain't took care of his penis problem, she'll be crying over him too. And that's another thing I'd like to talk about. Men who are wrapped up in these triangles, and one's in prison, jail, and the other one's dead. Why would a woman be interested in a man who's been in that type of situation of lying and manipulating women to where one goes off the deep end and kills the other girl, woman, wife, whoever, and then a new woman steps in the picture and she goes and dates this man, not thinking about there's somebody going to trial for killing somebody that he was involved with. Why would you want that man? Because if he did it to her and her, he'll do it to you. Stay woke now. Live by the sword. You know the rest. Do you want to end up like one of them girls, ladies, a victim or a perpetrator for dealing with a man? Because I'll say it again. If it happened to them, he could do it to you. Look forward to my next live stream. The Queen will go live pertaining to what she does not like about dealing with the black man. 2023. I want to thank you for your time. Smackdown Saturday. Tupac, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, Kohberger, Vallow, and Caitlyn Armstrong were the topics of discussion. Prayers for Deion Sanders. He may have to have his foot amputated or more toes amputated. He's having a blood circulation problem. Prayers to him. Other cases I've mentioned throughout this live stream, you have to go back to the beginning, replay, and all the information relayed during this live stream is posted to my community board. Please check the community board for all polls pertaining to R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, Kohberger, Lori, other people, other scenarios. Be heard. Voice your opinion. Take the poll. Comment below the video. Comment below the community post. Happy Saturday, everybody. Be aware of your surroundings. Mind the children. If you see something, say something. Be a part of the solution, not the problem. Amen. Thank you for all of those in the chat. Thank you for Mr. A. Balance for stopping by. Please check out Mr. A. Balance's channel, Chris Thorne's channel, who talks about the children. He's an advocate for children's rights. Thank you all for following this network and tuning in. Thank you for your time. Thank you for patronizing. You're welcome, sweetheart. Thank you. You have been listening to The Vault XL.